Okay, welcome everyone. I'm really happy to be here today. I am Gioia Lombardo Piola and I am part of Area Europa, that is a cooperative that together with Global Footprint Network has the honor to organize this webinar that is Breaking Bread, Building Future Collaborative Learning for Climate Change. We are here today to celebrate all together the World Food Day, that is one of the most celebrated days of the UN calendar. Is really important, is a super crucial topic for the sustainability of the future, and is calling for global collaboration in creating a sustainable, peaceful and food secure future for all without leaving no one behind. As we know, the topic is really huge. Challenges are really a lot. Food system sustainability is really hard to achieve while climate crisis is happening, and a lot of also economic and social challenges are arising. But for this, I mean, we will dedicate this day as a moment to, in a way, celebrate the achievements that we all together achieved in the last years, and at the same time to remember how to tackle all these challenges. How can we do it? One of the tools that we have is collaboration. So keep on learning, keep on collaborating, and food systems, since it's really a complex topic, needs the effort of everyone. So today we are here with different voices, different organizations, schools, teachers that will present amazing projects that in the last months and years try to give their contribution in going toward this concept of sustainability of food systems, targeting different people and using different methods and tools. So we thought that one of the biggest the best things that we could do in order to celebrate something so important was to meet all together, and with this picture of breaking bread, so sharing best practice, tools, experiences, initiatives in order to contaminate ourselves and somehow with different tools converge towards the same challenge that we are all facing, and as human beings, professionists, and lifelong learners. So we have only 1 hour together, so we will try to be, I will try to be brief also because we have different people that will have amazing things to share. And the idea is that we will have a first part of the webinar in which each speaker that now I'm going to present will briefly tell you about their projects, and so the main outputs and the main objectives of their projects. And then we will have another half an hour together in which we will chat and we will try to speak in a really informal way as we were around a table. Following different questions that, if you want, could also come from the public. So we have a chat, so if you have some curiosities and some question that you would like to make to one of our speakers, please feel free to intervene, and we will be glad also to give the floor to you. Going in concretely to understand who is here today, I'm really glad to say that we will present briefly 8 projects coming from different organizations. The first one is the Food Odyssey project, that actually is the framework in which we are organizing this event today. I mean, it's the project that had the idea of making this networking event. And we will have Deborah Barioni from Global Footprint Network. Then we have Silvia Fagioli from the Association of Teachers and Managers of Schools from Italy, that will present Iatus. Caterina Rivio, that will present FOODSHIFT Pathways. Then Eloy Miranda, sorry if I mispronounce some names, please let me know when later on, so I can also improve my pronunciation, that will present SOS Food. Then we have Francisca Cardoso that will present 3 different projects that also targets the same topic from different angles. And last but not the least, in a little bit different way, there is the Spoon project presented by the Otto Kuhl Institute from Beatrice Meo. I will shut up and give the floor immediately to Deborah Barioni for speaking about the Food Odyssey project. So Deborah, feel free to intervene and tell us something about this learning journey.
Thank you very much, Julia, and hello everyone, and happy Erasmus Days. I'm delighted to introduce the Food Odyssey, an Erasmus Plus project that turns sustainability education into a real adventure. So the project brings together 4 technical partners and 4 vocational schools from Italy, Spain, Greece, and Slovenia, all working together to innovate how we teach and learn about sustainability in the agri-food system. At the beginning of the project, we developed a teacher's toolkit, a set of educational resources to help vet teachers introduce key topics such as the climate crisis, sustainable food system, and ecological footprint, while experimenting with creative and participatory methods like gamification and edutainment. We then complemented this with a student's toolkit, which provides ready-to-use classroom materials and interactive activities that encourage critical thinking and active participation, all connected to the team exploring the project. But the innovation came with the creation of the Food Odyssey escape room. This interactive experience transformed classrooms into immersive learning environments where students must solve challenges related to food waste, resource allocation, plate waste, and biodiversity. Through this game, they learn about sustainability by doing, collaborating, and reflecting, not just by listening. Between spring and autumn 2025, the escape room was tested in all our partner schools, involving both teachers and students in a sharing learning process that proved how play can be a truly inspiring hours and change method. By the end of the project, all materials, including the teacher's toolkit, the student's toolkit, and the escape room and its guidelines, will be freely available online so that any school in Europe can join the adventure. So in short, the Food Odyssey is more than an educational project. It's an Erasmus journey collecting, an European journey collecting knowledge, creativity, and action for a more sustainable future. So thank you all of you for your presence here, and invite you to explore more on our website.
Thank you, Deborah. The Food Odyssey it is being, because it's not yet ended, a great journey. I was also part of this project, so the words that Deborah said really reson with me. So we try to do our best in innovative also teaching methodologies within schools. And I mean, going ahead with this idea of innovating educations and creating new tools for helping teachers in being more engaging and more creative and trying to do their best to give their contribution for the climate crisis. I am really happy to give the floor to Silvia Fagioli, that instead will present the Erasmus Hiatus. So Silvia, feel free to join us and to tell us something about your project and in general what you are trying to do with all the other teachers.
Okay, hello, I'm very happy to be here. I've also prepared some notes just to be sure that I will stay within the allowed time. So I work for an association of teachers and principals. I am myself a teacher at Aldini Valeriani High School here in Bologna. And I will introduce you to the Hiatus project. So Hiatus was born from a bold idea to bring service design thinking into schools, working closely with teachers and educators. So the project helped the schools to consciously redesign their services to be more useful, accessible, efficient, and desirable, both for students and for teachers. So over 3 years, we built a digital workspace, we conducted researches, we selected technical and vocational schools, and we trained teachers, we co-designed the learning pathway, and we tested it. So now I tried to answer to the questions you sent to us yesterday. So what unforeseen changes inspired or required you to adapt? Well, at the beginning, the project was conceived to develop products aimed at external society, rather than being directly integrated into the school environment. But as we progressed, we discovered that the survey design thinking methodology itself was incredibly effective in improving the internal school environment. So for teachers, as we were closely working with teachers, it became clear that the real value lay in empowering schools to redesign their own services from within. Another unexpected challenge that we had to face was the teacher training format. So initially, we planned long-term courses, spanning several months up even to a year. However, we quickly realized that this approach was not sustainable. And so we realized that teachers respond much more positively to short intensive courses which last fewer weeks or few months. And which was the secret spice of the project, who won the quality label at the end of these 3 years? Well, definitely the teachers, because I am a teacher and I must say that the spicy was the teachers. Why? Because they had the ability to integrate the project into their existing initiatives. So rather than treating the Atos as something separate, they used the methodology and tools to enhance and carry forward projects they were working already on. And so this not only made the approach more relevant, but also helped them optimize their time. And what were the methods and framework that were more valuable? Well, we developed a Moodle platform, but both the teachers and the students didn't like it because they find that Moodle platforms are outdated, they're not user-friendly, while they liked a lot the methodology, especially the first step, because before designing anything, they had to explore and understand the needs of their peers and teachers. So it was a process of empathy and inquiry that they liked a lot. And if time allows, I'd like to share a couple of examples of what the students created. Is there enough time, Julia?
Silvia, I thanks so much, first of all, for your sharing. I know that you have you have to go really soon, but I will go ahead with the presentation of a different project, and then we can go back to what you were presenting immediately when we finish the presentation. So we know more or less who is here, and then we can keep the sharing, if you agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So we can go ahead, and I will give the floor to Beatrice Meo for the Hot and Cool Institute to present the project Spoon.
Yes, thank you so much for the invitation. Really glad and happy to be here. So the Spoon is a European funded project that brings together different actors of society, including citizens, researchers, industries, civil society organizations, and policymakers to create a fairer, healthier, and more sustainable food future. This project was designed, of course, to tackle the challenges that the current food systems are facing. So we know while on one hand, food production contributes to up to 37% of global greenhouse gases emission, and food waste is on the rise. At the same time, many people across Europe still lack access to sufficient and healthy and nutritious food. So here we see how the food issue is not only a climate and environmental issue, but also a social one. On the other hand, also citizens are often not involved in shaping the solution that can improve their life. And this is an important element that we look at in this project. Key to the project is our data-driven participatory approach that we use to boost systemic change. So Spoon puts people at the core of the food system transformation. In fact, our method empowers individuals to create insights and co-design a solution. We have three key elements at the basis of our approach: the citizen science labs, the behavioral change intervention, and a digital tool set. I'm not sure I have the time to go much into detail, but very briefly, during the citizen science lab, citizens act as participants and co-researchers to collect data on healthy and sustainable food systems. They also co-design functionalities of the digital tool set for data collection, and towards the end of the iterations, they also co-design with other stakeholders the behavioral change interventions, which can be at different levels. So it can be, local initiatives or recommendation for national policies. So what we want to achieve is an understanding of the food system, shape food behaviors through by applying behavioral science and by creating this behavioral change intervention with all the actors of society, promote digital innovation, and then empower decision makers by providing them with evidence and community perspective as well to support more inclusive policy solutions.
Thank you, Beatrice. This is interesting also because it brings on the table another important concept that is the food justice. I mean, we speak a lot about food sustainability, and we sometimes forget that there is not real sustainability if there is not only the social part. And so I think that this project is super really interesting. And in general, I have to say that preparing this event was really inspiring because we can really understand in how many different ways that these topics are tackled. And so I'm really looking forward to looking inside this data-driven approach that you had. So thank you so much for sharing this with us. I will keep on speaking about this for years, but unfortunately we don't have a lot of time, so we can go ahead with the next project. And so I'm really glad to give the floor to Caterina Rivio to speak
Hello,
about
everyone. Thank you, Julia. Happy World Food Day. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm really glad to be here. My name is Caterina Rivio, and I come from the Research and Development Department of Ελληνική Γερμανική Αγωγή, which is a private educational institute, a school basically, located in Greece. And well, I have been initially invited to present FOODSHIFT Pathways, which is an Erasmus Plus project that tackles the challenge of the needed food system transformation through transforming teaching and learning. And how we try to achieve that is by providing the educational community with proposed teaching materials that encourage innovative solutions through hands-on learning activities. And our goal is to guide teachers and students towards more sustainable food practices by applying the whole school and the living labs approach. So with this goal, we have created interactive resources and educational videos co-designed by and for teachers. And these materials serve as tools to promote methodology and to transform schools to act as living labs. I would like to briefly also refer to Clever Food project, which is an Horizon one. And in this one, we have created the interactive Clever Food for Everyone exhibition, which is currently hosted in Copenhagen, Denmark, since the exhibition follows the EU presidency countries. And this exhibition showcases the dynamic nature of our global food system. And on top, we have collected resources and we have assembled the toolkit for education designed to support formal, informal, and non-formal educators. And more information is available on the respective project websites. And I will be glad to reply to any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Caterina. Then we can of course give also the more information about the second project that you were tackling, and we will do it later on, wrap upping all the material about this webinar. So many things. Okay, thank you. And now let's go instead speaking about the SOS food or SOS food. Eloy, you will tell us more about this. So please take the floor. You come from the Universidad de Vigo, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
So let's have you here.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you to Food Odyssey in general, in particular to Area Europa for the invitation. Well, SOS Food is an Horizon project, and we aim to map the European food systems and improve their sustainability and safety through innovative and multidisciplinary approach that is focused into the improvement of the decision-making process for both businesses and for consumers also. So for achieving these objectives, we conduct research on how the food systems impact society from very diverse perspectives, from socioeconomic, from environmental, from the health point of view of the consumers in this case, and also for the nutritional value that the different foods supply to us. So for doing this, we aim to reach actors intervening in all the stages of the food value chain. So from producers to distributors, processors, retailers, waste management, policymakers, consumers, and any other possible stakeholder that you may imagine. And after we put into value the data sets that generally are underexploited with these stakeholders. So for example, from producers, we can take the amount of food that is produced or how the land is used, or from the waste management, the different ratios of efficiency on what was produced, what was consumed, and so on. With access to these private and unused datasets, we will provide two decision-making solutions that both of them feature AI-based techniques. One is a consumer app, a consumer-focused mobile app. So to improve our decision-making process in the moment of purchasing foods. And another is a management dashboard for companies in early stages of the food value chain so that they can manage more efficiently their food production and to try to ensure that it's more sustainable and less impactful, environmentally speaking. Additionally, the project also aims to develop a new food eco-healthy fingerprinting plot that can surpass the limitations that some of the existing ones have, and also set new standards on the food labeling. And I know it's a lot of info.
Wow.
It's there, okay. Of course, we are available for any question or any contact. We are a very ambitious project in the sense that we try to aim everything globally from many different perspectives, as you were saying before, that social dimension is generally not taken into account also. And yeah, I think if I'm on time, it's all.
I think that thanks to the question that will arise after, we can, of course, tackle more aspect of this project and in general of your work about these topics. I really like the systemic approach of this project, and I think that is, in general, you can really see from all the presentation that you did by now from all of you that, I mean, food is super transversal, so sometimes it's really also really hard to be vertical on one topic, but this is what I think is the best power that food has in being able, being so complete in tackling all the complexity and involving all the possible stakeholders that you were mentioning, Eloy. So thank you so much. Really inspiring also the use of AI technology. Looking forward to know more also about this. And then last but not the least, speaking about multiple approaches and multiple projects, I give the floor to the girls from Innova Group. I know there is Francisca Cardoso that will speak about some of them. So please you are welcome to start from the one that you prefer from these three and tell us something about what you are trying to do in these journeys.
Thank you. So I will start to present Food Connect, that is actually funded by LIFE project. This project, it aims to connect two important aspects in our day-to-day life, that is an environmental approach and also a socially directed approach. Food Connect, the main goal is to reduce food waste, is to reduce here waste, and the main output is to create not create but replicate an actual platform that was already created, but wants to replicate for Portugal and Cyprus. And Malta, yes, it originally was created in Malta and now is replicating for these two countries. That is a platform of food donation. So to start about the main objectives of the project, of course, to reduce food waste, as I already mentioned, and enhance this platform. It will be the Food Connect platform, and also strengthen collaboration networks. So the targets, of course, are food donors and food recipients, but also one of the main goals is to bring awareness to this big problem that we are facing to the general public, general community. We are now developing the analysis of the market to be able for us to replicate this platform in those two countries. And also one of our main outputs, results, will be to develop a replication guide that will allow other European or more countries to replicate also this platform in their country. And this is it for Food Connect. I will now present LCA Care. LCA Care project is funded by Erasmus Plus, and it aligns with this webinar in our team in the sense that it acts in the agri-food sector. LCA Care has the main objectives of bring together higher education and training providers to create an innovative tool focused on improving environmental performance for SMEs that acts in agri-food sector. So it aims to develop, test, and experiment an innovative tool that performs life cycle assessment. That is a super specific term that I will not explore now because of our time. But also at the same time, it seeks to provide capacity building for companies and education providers to optimize the environmental impact of products and to promote eco-innovation process in the industry. So this connects SMEs, vet providers, and higher education institutions. And the main results, we already started and developed global research and good practices for us to being able to give the next step to develop this tool that will be a mobile app and will be available also for SMEs. The next step will be, and we are now working on this, building a capacity building for SMEs and also a master program with in this area. And I will give now the floor to my colleague Rita Reis that will present the last project that we bring today.
Thank you, Francisca. Welcome, Rita. Teresa.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm presenting a ProChef that is a mentor tech project from Erasmus Plus, but it's the group from Innova, so all the same, not the same. So the ProChef develop a comprehensive training concept for implementing a protein shift in the institutional kitchens, promoting the adoption of the plant-based proteins. The initiative aligns with the European Green Deal's goals of the reducing the environmental impact of food systems and greenhouse gas emissions. The project pretends to provide new learning materials and methods to train chefs and kitchen staff, embedding the topic in existing curriculum from long-term sustainability. We here aim to insert these terms in the comprehensive industrial kitchen staff, restaurants, and they're all industrial, not only the restaurants, but industrial and project managers of plant-based food companies. Vet trains in hospitality and kitchen courses and company trainers, just to the global shape. At this time, the main results we have is a learning and training materials of creating an educational resource and staff training concepts. This is our state right now. We are doing this, but we're not implementing yet. In February, we'll advance. Now we are still aiming to achieve the training course that is a tailor-made learning models with learning concepts to lead to increase knowledge, skills and attitudes among the target groups. It means staff, kitchen, chefs, and everyone interested in learning about this shift. And for this, we are also creating a manual for trainings, a manual to guide trainers to implement the course on protein shifts in institutional kitchens. However, we are still in the phase of planning and we didn't yet do the training, but we can give you some feedback after doing this if you are interested in knowing how we did it.
Thank you, Rita. Yeah, definitely, because this protein transition issue is a huge one and is, of course, will be super important to know more about this. So for sure, we will ask you for updates, or we will follow the journey of ProChef. So thank you so much. I feel a little bit in the most positive way you can take it as I'm overwhelmed by all these inputs. I feel more like in a brainstorming session in which a lot of ideas pop up, and really grateful. I'm really grateful for listening to all the different project and initiative you are bringing on. And I think that's for what Francisca said, what is really nice of this kind of opportunities that we try to create is really to learn from each other. And you spoke about replicability of the project, so it will be amazing to take the best practices that you are all creating in different places and maybe try to bring them in another level, so in another place. And so the innovation is the fact that you are trying to innovate something that already worked in another context, but keep on contaminating each other in different territories. So thank you so much for this overview of all the amazing things that you are doing. Now, let's have some time. We have still half an hour, so congrats to you all, because you had amazing timekeeping, and so thank you for this. And we will try to have like a super informal conversation as we were around the table to understand more about how this project have been implemented, what you learned through the process. And so we can also try to learn from each other experiences, and trying also to understand which will be the next steps after the project to keep on this challenge that we are all facing. And speaking about things that change, the first question that we wanted to ask to all of you is about which, just like every recipe evolves, so you see here like a change of onion in also according to the biodiversity, we understand that there are tons of opportunities in order to improve a process, a recipe, a dish. We wanted to ask you which are the unforeseen changes that have inspired you along the journey, and how you adapt to these kind of changes. And in order to be really consistent with this kind of question, I will give the floor to Silvia, that I know that wanted to say something else before going away, because unfortunately she has to go. So speaking about things that change and programs that change, Silvia, if you want to take the floor to tell us something, not only about this question, but about what you wanted to share with us before, please feel free. And then we can go ahead with the brainstorming and the discussion around these topics. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I realized that I actually answered to the questions during the pitch. Because
this was amazing. I mean, you have been synthetic, but really on point. So, I mean, these are also about being adaptable. So no worries at all. But yeah, feel free to add something, because you told that there was something else that you wanted to share.
Yeah, and the other thing that I noticed is that actually our project was not about food or food sustainability. It was rather about the methodology, the service design thinking methodology, and how to integrate it in school context. Because, I mean, teachers are always overloaded. So you cannot ask them to do more than what actually they do. So it was a matter of integrating the methodology, but it would be nice to experiment this methodology now that they are used to it with different topics like food, because actually what they realized was not about food. One of the things that the student created was a disconnected room. A disconnecting room was a room where they had to leave out their mobile phones and to have an environment which was, how can I say, absolutely without mobile phones, but was rich in learning experiences. And this project won a lot of prizes in Italy. And it was actually realized using the methodology they experimented during the project. And another thing that they realized at Aldini Valeriani, together with the company, an IT company, was a mobile phone app to organize sports events, both inside and outside school, so that they could meet each other and organize like volleyball or football tournament, and both teachers and students. And this was done because it was it was the sport teachers who expressed this need. So the students interviewed the sport teacher, they tried to understand what they wanted, and then they designed the mobile app. And the nice thing about this methodology is that you need to use empathy. You really need to use empathy, and it is something that sometimes students do not use, or at school, they don't use it often. And that's it.
Thank you, Silvia. You tackled a really important point, and so thank you first of all to share this. I think that is really important to have you all teachers with us, project designers, because you are the ones that are really every day with the young generation that really need this kind of approach that you are saying, because it's true that a lot of time empathy is missing from the learning programs, let's say. So it's more a kind of soft skills that sometimes have been forgetting. And it's super important also to be linked with what also the others were saying before me about behavioral change, because also behavioral change is something that is connected also with kind of emotion and understanding with different parts of our body, what is going on. So thank you so much for this. And relating to this, since we are speaking about schools and the role of teachers, maybe Deborah would like to say something about the AIR experience in the Food Odyssey project that also deals with teachers and with co-creation processes for innovating the educational path. I don't know, Deborah, if you feel like.
Yes, and of course, I've seen that there are further people from the Food Odyssey project online, so please feel free to integrate and add to what I'm saying. About things that have changed during the project, I would say that the element of having teachers aboard during the project was absolutely a value added. But we also had to face sometimes the difficulties to adapt to the teacher schedules, because sometimes when we plan project, we may think to do it like a bit in the air, in the sense that we think about the project, but having teachers on board also helped us to put it on the field, and we had to adapt to their schedules, because also, as was said before, there are timelines and certain periods in school that need to be respected. And I would say that this was something that we needed to adapt for, but also it was great to see how the teachers were involved in the end and how all the project was brought in the school. I think it was the biggest highlight and the biggest satisfaction at the end, when we seen the teachers and the students working on the project materials and the escape rooms and bringing it into the school, directly in the school. I think was the best moment. So some challenges, some adaptation, but then the satisfaction.
Thank you, Deborah. I can also subscribe what you are saying. I think that the adaptation skills within a project are really, really important, and still we can learn from them. So thank you so much for sharing this part. I don't know if there is someone in particular that wants to take the floor and share her experience about this. I guess that all of you had to tackle, to be engaged with a lot of different group of people that have different needs and different expectations. So while Eloy was speaking about sauce food and you were mentioning so many different group of people involved during the value chain of food, I was really curious about how did you manage to adapt to some changes that you may be foreseen during the project. So Eloy, if you want to take the floor, or whoever.
Yeah, sure. Well, how did we manage? I don't know if we managed yet. We are thriving through that. The thing is, I actually forgot about to say this. We are implementing source food in 3 different case scenarios. So we are taking it at regional, national, and the local base. For local, we have Athens. For national, we have Lithuania, and for regional, we have Galicia within Spain. So the thing that we are doing is that we are trying to collect a lot of data, as I said before, private unused data mostly, not because we refuse public repositories, but those are not a novelty, right? So we depend highly on trying to negotiate a lot for intake data from, I don't know, business associations, private companies, consulting companies that maybe make research on this matter, private research from universities that is to be published, and so on. So this was one of our main struggles, in the sense that for making these AI-based techniques, tools, no, that we have, the consumer app and the management dashboard, we need first to train those AI systems. And for training them, we need a lot of data, but truly a lot. And we have the difficulty also of that data being representative, not only in one of the scenarios, but also being possible to extrapolate it to the other 2. And if we want to do a source food tool, let's say in the future, to try to map other regions in Europe, that also is replicable, right? So that's kind of a good challenge. At the beginning, we were very optimistic on our previsions of how fast we would collect data. We had to reformulate that, and we had to put a little bit more of a negotiation, and we started also to collaborate with much more projects. We are part of a cluster now, but we also try to do like bilateral agreements. And through this, some doors are being opened. But it has been a trip just so far. We are right now around the middle phase of the project, so we still have a long way ahead. But we are starting to have enough data sets and enough data collection success as to say that the final results are being on the way, you know. But it has been knocking a lot of doors, sending a lot of emails, and it's...
I can just imagine, Eloy, but yeah, it's pretty much clear the struggle you are going through, but I like your optimism of will, so good luck with it, and I'm sure you will try to find a way, for sure.
Of course, if anybody here wants to share data, we are always open. And we can...
maybe Beatrice can tell us something about their way to collect data, to deal with data, since you spoke about the Spoon project as also a data-driven project. So I don't know if you feel like...
Sure. So, yeah, by listening to Eloy, obviously I found some clear connections with the Spoon project, but I have to say that our data collection process, it's quite at a different scale, in the sense that I see that for SOS Food, the data collection is happening with actors throughout the entire supply chain. So it's a bit more challenging to get in touch with all of them and gather enough data for the AI training and so on. In our case, what we are working on at the moment is, so the data collection will happen at two different levels. On one end, there is a large-scale survey that we're working on, and we will send out in the 6 countries that the 6 pilot countries that where we are implementing the project, and it's only to consumers, so individuals. And then on the other hand, the other part of the data collection will happen in the citizen science lab. So throughout a questionnaire, so obviously is a reduced number of participants, and with them we basically will co-design the questionnaire that will be used then also in the tool, in the digital tool, then that will then be designed for data collection at a larger scale later on. So it's a different set of a different process and goals of data collection. And in terms of changes that we experience, we are still in the preparatory and coordination phase. So as I was saying, we started designing the survey, the large scale survey that we will publish and launch in December or January, while the citizen science lab will happen over 5 iterations, but starting from next year. Which means that I can't really speak of big changes that we experienced so far, but I'm sure that going ahead, we would have more examples on this.
Thank you, Beatrice.
I just wanted to make a comment. Like, we are also going to do surveys because we also need the consumer perspective, you know. So yeah, it's a bit I don't know, maybe in some way it's possible to explore there if there is any connection. I know that a couple of our partners are there in Spoon also, so they will keep you posted on problems and challenges.
Yeah, for sure.
But I will definitely going to reach maybe.
Yeah, sure, cool.
Great. Let's try to help each other in dealing with these kind of problems that can create opportunities. So I'm really happy if you manage to keep in contact. And I think that we can move to the other question because in any case, everything, like always, is interconnected. But let's try to see it not from a things that have been changed, but about which were the secret the secret spices, so the most important ingredients of your project. And so maybe always speaking about involvement of citizens, citizen science, and collecting data, and going moving to the, let's say, the bright parts of the project. Maybe Caterina wants to share something about the FOODSHIFT Pathways and about which were the most important ingredients of your projects that you experienced so far.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think proposing hands-on experiential activities has been one important secret spices, as well as the co-creation process. So we have proposed as a project some materials to teachers, but through interactions with them, through webinars, in-person workshops, the summer schools that we organize, which are teacher training activities, 5 days long ones. We have the opportunity to interact with teachers and collect their feedback, their input, their needs, because it's important to address them in the whole process, and putting them together to collaborate and co-create activities. I think this is an important element. And of course, depending on the countries, there are different contexts, and so it's really important to have also the teachers' input and the generated resources from their side. So give them the voice, the floor to co-create with us.
Thank you so much. I mean, this co-creation process is something that we already heard in different projects that been presenting. That is really nice also because this is also what World Food Day is about. So co-creation and collaboration in creating a more sustainable food system. So I really like that is something that we saw.
And one final little comment, because we also try to apply the schools as living labs approach. So we need to include also other food system stakeholders in the process, which can also be tricky, but it's also very vital because as we heard a couple of times, food systems are quite complex, they are systemic, and there are so many actors involved. And so it's really important to open up the schools to these stakeholders as well.
Totally agree with that. So thank you so much for sharing this. And speaking about different stakeholders, if I have to go back to the presentation of the project, I'm wondering if Francisca and Rita would like to intervene because with Food Connect, LCA Care and ProChef, you are trying to involving SMEs, chefs, but also citizens. So it's a quite multi-level approach that could be interesting also to tackle. So if you want to tell us something about which was the unexpected ingredient, the most important one, or in general thought about this, we will be super happy to hear you.
Yes, for example, in Food Connect, we are developing a podcast, a national podcast. And in the 3 countries, we are making some developing and recording some episodes in our national languages. This facilitates the communication with our stakeholders. As Katarina was saying, depending on the context and the country is really different, the approach we have to have with them. And this brings, we call directly our target groups and the actors that really are important, and we give them voice to what we are doing, to our awareness campaign, to also touching in the point of data collection. We also did that with them in the first phase of our project. So I guess this facilitates a lot. I mean, we just published 1 episode until this date, but we recorded more and we have more to publish. And we are really counting that this will be a great help and a great kickoff to the next level.
Thank you, Francisca. Are the podcasts all in English or you are also translating them in the national languages?
I mean, not every partner, because we are more than 1 in each country, but at least 1 per country. I mean, it's a shared responsibility, but in each country we are doing national episodes. So we have, let's say, 3 podcasts, 1 in Malta, 1 in Cyprus, and 1 in Portugal. And they are not in English, they are in the national languages. We have a big awareness campaign that a plan to do that, and everything is in English except these podcasts that are the ones that require more work, also to give face to the partners that are working in developing the results. And it's in national languages, yes.
Thank you. Sorry, I mean, what was an out-of-the-box question, just because I was curious, because we also did a lot with creating content, and sometimes we ask ourselves which is the best way, because it's of course English create this kind of opportunities like today to share thoughts and best practices, but it's also when you speak about podcasts and you want to go really be impactful on people, sometimes national language can be the best solution. So it was just a
And also we have now a lot of tools that can translate and develop subtitles and translate to any language, and it's really easy with AI nowadays. So Yes.
Totally agree.
Also in ProChef, yes, we are, as Rita said, we are now having, we are preparing everything to have now a train the trainers, the workshop with the trainers, of course, and we are inviting external trainers to be a part of this training. So not also to give feedback to the materials that we've created, but also to participate in the training itself, and bring them to one place in person. That will be Spain, north of Spain in February. And this is also something that I think that facilitates the connection with the stakeholders, because we have really something to offer, not just, okay, go to this link and see what we are doing. So we are involving them and we are bringing them inside and not the opposite.
Thank you so much for sharing this also, because yeah, we this connects with the next question, because we wanted to ask you which kind of methods and I mean, that could be frameworks, digital platforms, but also really like way of approaching stakeholders did you use, and you help you in staying connected to the stakeholders involved in the project, or in general how to be more impactful with projects. So somehow you already gave an answer to this question. I don't know if there is someone that would like to reply to this question with something that maybe not has not been tackled until now. So I would open the mic to the ones that want to jump in. And if not, because unfortunately right now I cannot see your faces, so I don't know if you are also communicating with your smiles or not.
May I add here a small intervention? So we heard before about an approach being developed and then applied in the school context. So in our case, it has been the Schools as Living Labs approach, and initially the SAL project, which has developed a repository and a community platform that teachers and schools might use. So in our case now we are applying this methodology and using these tools for the thematics of food systems.
Thank you
And
so
of
much.
course, yeah, this can be replicated in other contexts as well. So we are very glad that we will have the opportunity to apply it also, for example, in the topic of soil and soil degradation and desertification.
It's really cool. Thank you so much for sharing this. I think that in general, a lot of different kitchen utensils have been mentioned until now. So we spoke about gamification, living labs, different way to engage with people, also to collect data, but also preferences and create dialogues with them. So thank you for having said all these things. I think that unfortunately the time is ending, but before going away, this was this last question that is more or less about which are the next steps, or we spoke about cookie techniques that you would like to use in the next project. I know that maybe this could be a little bit overwhelming right now, because you are going through a lot of different projects already that are challenging and really inspiring. But if we can say what's next, maybe some project that also could involve all of us together, what would be your desire? And for this, I really leave the floor to the ones that want to take it, because unfortunately the time is running out, and so we are almost on the conclusion, going toward the conclusion. I mean, a lot of
Very briefly, just not to leave it unanswered, for me it will be the use of AI, and I would be glad to collaborate with you for the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you also. Thank you so much. Okay. Also, because I mean, there are a lot of opportunities and limits with the use of AI, but I also think that this could be a really useful tool to help us in digging these complexities. So also looking forward. So let's keep in touch for this, because I was also like to dig it.
Can I jump in, Jo, even though I have been
Yeah, please, Jo.
more on the background?
I recognize your voice, so I hope that it's you that's speaking.
It is me, Jo. Hi, everyone. I have exchanged emails with a few of you, but as I have been part of the Food Odyssey journey, I would like to jump in here for a moment, because one of the lessons we learned throughout the project is how engaging it can be to create games together. So this games-based approach was really nice in the sense of us realizing how to learn more about game mechanics and things like that. And connecting with what Katerina just said and Eloy said before, the learning more about how AI works is something really important for like lifelong learning and new skills we all have. So combining this idea of things that sometimes seem not to be connected, like food and soil, with very digital technologies, it's something that we would like to bridge and somehow address how we can move forward this games that are actually fun. And we, as a consortium, made fun of this at one point, that we don't like particularly the terminology of serious games, because games should be fun and not that serious, even though the topics are serious in themselves. And this is one of the reasons that we have been making a lot of play with different topics and different language expressions in different contexts, because we think this is something that connects us, and as food connects us. So I would mention this, that the AI digital realm connected with the having fun and not only being like functional and sustainable in the sense of efficiency is something that we would like to explore, and we think it's more engaging. And we are over time, so I'm sorry that I spoke.
No, please, Anzi, thank you too, because this was really one of the main points that I also brought home from the Food Odyssey experience. So thank you so much for sharing this. And I'm super happy now to see all you in face, because I didn't know how to do without not sharing properly the screen. So speaking about digital tools and learning processes, for sure, I will improve it next time. But so thank you so much for sharing your experiences. I think that the pathway is really long. So let's try to do our best in order to keep on walking through the concept of sustainability of food system, and in general of a better world. I think that having fun and having this kind of opportunities to see each other, understand that we are not alone, we are all trying our best to do this on a different level, in different approaches, in different countries, is the key to keep equipped with hope and strength. So thank you so much, and I'm sure that we are going to see each other on different desktop, but also in different places, trying to do our best for this challenge. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Silvia, that stayed here until the very end. I know that you had to go, but I'm happy to see you still here. We keep in touch soon, and let's try to build a community of change all together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao, thank you all.